Okay, so externalization is the process which is almost similar to the serialization. Okay, so why externalization was required? Because serialization was having some performance issue. It is slow, so externalization is faster than serialization. So in case of serialization, JVM has full control to on the object what is going to serialized. Okay, so but in case of externalization, program has control to on the serialized object. Okay, the object, how it is going to serialize, what content it is going to write, that control is available to the program. Okay, so externalization has two method. Externalizable, that is the interface, that has two method: read external and write external. So any class which is implementing externalizable interface, they need to override these two methods. In case of serializable is markup interface. So any class which is implementing serializable, they don't need to override any method. But in case of externalization, any class which is implementing externalizable interface, they need to override read external and write external. Okay, so it also persists the state of the object like serialization, but there is different, but in little different way. Okay, it is doing the same thing but in little different way, and overall performance of externalization is more than serialization. Okay, so here application controls that how to do the what to do with read external and write external method. Okay, so let's see how it works in Eclipse. So in the Eclipse, I have already made a program. I will go through with you. So let's see that. So I have one class called test externalization, where I have created one employee externalize object. Sorry, a class. Let's. I have just rename it to employee externalize. Okay, and it is implementing externalizable. It has three properties: ID, username, and email. It has one default constructor. It has one parameterized constructor. In case of serialization, default constructor is not required unless some other class is extending this one. But in case of externalization, it is must to have one default constructor. Okay, so here I have default constructor as well as parameterized constructor and its getter setter. Okay, then I have toString method where I will print ID, username, and email ID. Okay, so these methods are very much common. The thing what here need to see is two methods, that is write external and read external. So write external is taking object output object parameter, which is to write the object to byte stream. Okay, so here what is doing, it is taking object output parameter, that is out parameter, and writing its id, writing its username, writing its email address. Okay, so here it is not based on the serialization id. So if you see here on top, it is not asking you to add any serialization id or something like that, and it is not even giving the warning also. Okay, so here it is completely depend on how do you write your write external and read external. So in case of write external, you are using the, it is using the object output parameter. So each attribute is writing manually, so that is out dot write int, out dot write object if it is using a string or something. Okay, Here for username and email, that is type of string, so it is using write object. Okay, in case of primitive, it is using write int or something. Same type, read external is the method which is also overridden here. Here it is reading the id, username and email address. How? Based on the parameter, the type of the parameter here, object input. So object output is used to write the element, the byte string. Read object output, sorry, object input is to read the byte stream into the element. Okay, so here return type of both methods are void. So what is happening in case of read external? It is taking the parameter object input, and then it is saying that input in dot read int, in dot read object for username, and that is typecasting to a string, and then again say in dot read object and typecasting to a string and converting to email. Okay, so then we have toString method, which I already explained. So these two methods, read external, write external, that you need to override. Okay, so override these methods in such a way that you are, while in case of write external, your all the attributes are written into the byte stream. In case of read external, make sure all the attributes of that class is deserialized, or you can say that de-externalize. Okay, so that will that value of those attributes will come from byte stream. Okay, so now let's have one main method. Let's rename it so that it will go off, compilation issue will go off. Okay, so main method, I'm creating one employee externalize object. Okay, so here the parameter I'm passing that id, name and username and email address. Okay, let's put username as Shiv dot Tiwari. Okay, then I'm still using the utility dot write object. Okay, so that will write the object into this file, and once writing is done, then I will create one user read. Okay, for the same type of class, and then say that utility dot read object and passing the same file. Okay, then printing the value here. So let's run it. So here what you see here, before doing the sterilization, so if you print, it is giving id, username and email address, and after doing the after writing into the byte stream, when I'm trying to convert, when I try to get that object back from byte stream, so that is deserialized object. So that is the output is coming, that is second line here, that is id, username and email address, which is same as what I have serialized. So externalization is faster than serialization, so that is the reason we use externalization. Okay, behavior wide is almost same as serialization, only thing it is doing in different way. Okay, and basic difference between serialization and externalization also, serialization interface does not have any method, it's a markup interface, but serializable interface has two methods, read external and write external, which has to be overridden when someone is implementing. Okay, so that's all about serialization and externalization. In the next session I will talk about Java file handling.